Last week, I got an email from a viewer that really broke my heart. A 52-year-old viewer, we'll call her Judy. She wrote, I just looked at my 401k balance and started crying. $8,000. And that's it. She went on to say that I keep reading about needing $1 million to retire, and I'm terrified that I'll be working at Walmart until the day I die. And so if you're watching this and you're nodding your head, I need you to take a deep breath with me, because what I'm about to share with you and Judy isn't just hope. It's a proven step-by-step system that I've seen work for hundreds of people. What's up, everybody? I'm Rashida, and I'm your guide to smart money moves. I started my wealth building journey at 17. I've grown my portfolio to $1 million, and I was able to do that all on a police officer's salary. So I know that it's possible for you to get there too, and I'm on a mission to show you the way. So let's go. Here's what nobody talks about. Turning 50 isn't the end of your retirement dreams if you haven't already started saving. This is actually when you get access to the most powerful wealth building tools allowed by the government and the clarity to use them strategically. Today, I'm going to show you the exact 5-step system to go from Judy's situation to a 7-figure nest egg by the time you're ready to retire. And don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to work until you're 80 or to live on beans and rice. If you clicked on this video, you're probably feeling exactly like Judy, overwhelmed, maybe a little bit panicked, and definitely wondering if it's too late. Here's what I want you to understand first. You are not alone, and you're not broken. The average American has about $117,000 saved for their retirement by the time they reach 50. But here's what most people don't realize. 78% of people making 6 figures are still living paycheck to paycheck. And so the problem isn't your income. The problem is that nobody taught you the fundamentals that actually matter at 50. I've been studying personal finance for over 20 years now, and here's what I've learned. The people who succeed aren't the ones who started the earliest necessarily. They are the ones who got strategic and then followed a proven system when they finally started. And here's what conventional wisdom often gets wrong about late starters. They treat retirement savings like some sort of high school exam where when you start late, you automatically fail. But the truth is, wealth building is more like learning how to drive, but plenty of people learn at ages 30, 40, and 50 and go on to become excellent drivers. And so if you're ready to master these strategies and never have to worry about your retirement money again, drop the number 50 down in the comment section and let's go. All right, now step 1 is going to be to get your financial foundation right, okay? Because I've seen too many people try to build wealth on quicksand, and that never works. Now, step 1 is brutally simple, but people tend to skip it, and that is to create a real budget. And I'm not talking about some complicated spreadsheet. I'm talking about a simple system that shows you exactly what's going in and what's going out every month. Because here's the truth, if you are 50 and you're behind on retirement, you probably have money leaking out of your budget that you don't see. Now, the average American has about $7,000 in credit card debt at an interest rate between 20 and 27%. And so that's like trying to fill a bucket that has holes in it, okay? And so this is going to be your foundation formula. List every debt that you have. So that's going to be credit cards, car loans, personal loans, buy now, pay later, second mortgages, everything. Then choose your payoff method. You can pick to go with the smallest balance first and work from there for psychological wins, or you can choose the highest interest rate debt first because that's going to give you the max dollar savings, okay? And so once you take a look at everything and you see that you have multiple credit cards or you have a lot of high interest rate debt in all these different places, you might want to consider doing some sort of debt consolidation, because this could potentially cut your interest rate in half, and that's going to help you pay down your debt a lot faster. My friend Aubrey was paying $800 a month servicing debt at an average interest rate of 22%. One consolidation loan brought that interest rate down to 8%, which freed up $300 per month to go straight into her retirement savings. Now, once you've started to tackle that high interest rate debt, you need to start building an emergency fund. Just 3 to 6 months of expenses is all you need to worry about. And what this is going to do is to protect you from any unexpected bills that will derail you from your entire retirement plan. And here's what Aubrey did that most people miss. She didn't try to pay off every single debt before starting to save, okay? She tackled the highest interest rate stuff first, built that small buffer, then started saving while continuing to pay down that remaining debt. Now, step 2 is going to be to set realistic but flexible retirement goals. Now, we need to set up your retirement target, but not the way most people do it. So just forget about all those "you need $1 million" headlines. Let's get realistic about what you actually need. Now, if you're 50 and you're aiming to retire by 67, that is 17 years that you still have to save and invest. And that is very powerful. That's a lot of time. And so you have to ask yourself, can you live comfortably on $4,000 a month, including Social Security? If this is the case, then you need about $600,000 to $700,000 saved. And now if you need closer to $6,000 a month, you're going to want to aim for anywhere between $900,000 and $1 million saved. But here's the key. These goals have to be flexible because you're just getting started. And so that might mean working until you're 70 instead of 67, or doing some sort of part-time consulting work on the side. Or maybe you need to consider relocating to a lower cost area, especially if you are living in a place like California or New York that is exorbitantly high to even live, okay? You have to start making some tough decisions at some point. And so whatever that dollar amount goal is, you need to try to work backwards from your goal. Then you need to save about $2,800 a month, assuming a 7% return, which is actually below the market average. And if that sounds impossible or like a big number to you, keep watching. Now, step 3 is the catch up superpower. Remember Judy from the opening? Now, this is what I told her that made her stop crying and start planning. And it's like getting a legal advantage in a race that you thought you were losing. And so let's take a look at these numbers so I can help you wrap your mind around it. Now, the regular 401k limit is $23,000, all right? At age 50, you get to make catch-up contributions, which is an extra $7,500. So that's a total of $30,500 per year that the government will allow you to invest in your 401k plan. And if you have an IRA or an individual retirement plan, the government allows $7,000 plus an extra $1,000 for your catch-up contribution. So you're talking $8,000 total per year that you can put into there. She maximized her employer's match first. And this one blows my mind because there are so many people behind on retirement that aren't even getting the full employer match. Now, Judy's company was willing to give her 50 cents for every dollar that she contributed up to 6% of her salary. So on her $65,000 salary, that's $1,950 that she was leaving on the table. And so just making that one small adjustment of getting her company's match is going to very likely amount to over $200,000 in her retirement nest egg in just a 17-year time span. And that doesn't even include additional contribution adjustments like getting raises, which she'll likely get during her peak earning years. And so you can see how that number can get much larger over the years. And so let me show you what I mean. If Judy were to bump up her contributions to just 10% of her salary, she's likely to be sitting on $300,000. And if she got really aggressive and did 20% of her pay as a contribution, she is projected to have over $500,000 even with below average market returns. And so here's going to be your first priority. Make sure you are getting your full employer match, all right? That's an instant 50 to 100% return on your money. You're not going to find that anywhere else in the world, okay? And your second priority is going to get rid of your high interest rate debt. Anything that's over 10%, you have to attack that debt aggressively because you're going to open up so much more of your income to invest for retirement. And the third thing on your priority list is going to be to make sure you max out your catch-up contributions as close to max out as you can get. We're talking about every extra dollar needs to go into your retirement so you can live the life that you really deserve once you hang up your cleats, okay? Now, Judy started with just enough to get her full employer match, so right around $325 a month. And after 6 months of doing this, she's planning to increase her contributions to $500 a month. And with the plan that we have laid out for her, by year 2, she's going to be saving almost $2,000 a month with very little lifestyle adjustments. Now, step number 4 is huge, so make sure you're listening. Now, here's where most people over 50 are going to make one of 2 deadly mistakes, and both will keep you broke. The first trap is going to be the home run mentality, because at some point during this journey, you're going to think, I'm behind and I need to double my money quickly. And that is when you're going to start chasing things like investing in penny stocks or buying altcoins or following the latest hot stock tips from your brother-in-law. And so that right there is how you're going to turn $30,000 into $8,000 trying to hit home runs. Don't be that person. You don't need that. You just need to focus on hitting a single year after year after year to avoid striking out. Okay, and trap number 2 is going to be the complete polar opposite of trap 1. And that is going to take this ultra conservative approach, because at some point you're going to think, I'm behind and I can't afford to lose money. And so you may consider putting every dollar that you save into a traditional savings account or a CD or high yield savings account. That is not going to help you to grow your wealth in time for retirement, because inflation is going to ensure that you lose purchasing power over these 15 to 17 years or stay right on pace with inflation. And we need to grow our wealth, okay? Now, these super conservative portfolios are for people that have already won the game, okay? You are trying to build wealth and you've got 15 to 17 years to do it. So you should have a portfolio that is roughly 70% stocks and 30% bonds if you are 50 with nothing saved for retirement, because you are trying to grow wealth for the next 15 to 17 years, which is a long enough time horizon to weather out any market storms. Remember, people that have very conservative portfolios have already won the game. They are playing a game of capital preservation. You don't have any capital to preserve, so you have to take a more aggressive approach than someone that is the same age but with a lot more money already saved. I hope that makes sense. Remember, with all those years that you still have on your side, that is not conservative money territory. That is still growth territory, okay? And when you're picking your investments, just keep it simple. Do some research and pick low cost index funds, okay? You don't need to pay 1 to 2% of your wealth every year that you're trying to hang on to and build to pay to some fund or fund advisor, okay? So just look at constructing a simplistic portfolio with a total stock market index, an international index, and a bond index, and you're done, okay? You don't need to try to beat the market to get great returns. You just need to be the market, okay? You don't need an overly sophisticated strategy. It's just going to cost you money. Now, our last step is going to be about lifestyle optimization, all right? Now, here comes the hard truth that most people will not tell you. If you are 50 and behind, some lifestyle changes are going to be non-negotiable. But I'm not talking about small things like cutting out your daily coffee, okay? We're going to go for big wins. We have to focus on the big stuff that actually moves the needle in your favor. So what you need to do is conduct a lifestyle audit. That $750 car payment, which is the average in America, can you sell that and just drive a $15,000 used car instead and invest the difference? That $200 a month cable and streaming subscription stack that you have, could you cut that in half? Eating out 4 times a week, can you do it maybe 1 time a week? We're not talking about cutting out everything that you love, but can you cut back to free up hundreds or even thousands of dollars every month to put toward your future self? Because it's going to make a huge difference by the time you retire. If you can just earmark an extra $400 in savings and put that into your investments, that is going to be nearly $180,000 in 15 years. So think about it that way. And the more that you can set aside in this way from your lifestyle, the bigger that pot is going to be when you're 65. And for all of your other spending, I want you to employ the future self test. So before you make any purchase over $200, just ask yourself, will my 70-year-old self thank me for this? Or will they wish that I had invested that money instead? That is the kind of mental training that you're going to have to start doing if you want to get serious and do the work to provide yourself with a great retirement. Now, another tip is to really focus on how you can accelerate your income, okay? Too often people focus on how they can cut back and save, but you're in your 50s, you are in your peak earning years, you are expert at something, all right? You've been doing something for decades at this point. And so you need to figure out a way to monetize the skills that you already have. And so this is when you're going to take the opportunity to negotiate a promotion, to negotiate a raise for yourself at work. You know how valuable you are at your place of work. Sell your boss on why they need to give you a raise. Start that consulting side hustle that you've been thinking about for years, or just again, monetize the skills that you have been developing for the last several decades. Guys, even a school teacher can monetize their expertise. I have an 8-year-old daughter, okay? She goes to a tutor once a week. I pay this lady $80 for a 50-minute session. And when I get my daughter to the cafe, there's already a kid in that seat that's about to leave. And when my daughter leaves, there's another kid coming in. So even if this teacher is doing just 4 hours of extra work per week. That is $1,280 per month for less than 4 hours of work. If you can find a way to invest that type of money consistently for the next 15 to 17 years, that is easily over $500,000 with an average 8% market return. Think about that. How can you make more money and work on that side of the equation? You don't need to go and find a second part-time job paying minimum wage. You don't have to go out and drive for Uber. If you monetize what you already know, it's going to be much more lucrative. Trust me. Now, do me a favor, drop a comment below and tell me what skills you have that you can monetize in the next 90 days. I read all the comments and I will help you brainstorm, okay? Now, last but not least, let's talk about Social Security optimization. Now, if you're starting to save late, Social Security is very likely to be a larger part of your retirement income, okay? And so that's going to make optimizing it crucial. And so here's your secret weapon. For every year that you delay Social Security past your full retirement age, you get an extra 8% increase in benefits until age 70. That means if you wait to age 70 to start drawing your Social Security, then you're going to get an extra 8% per year for every year that you waited. That is huge. And that increase is going to be for the rest of your life, okay? If you can wait an extra 3 years, that could mean the difference between getting $2,000 a month and $2,600 a month for the rest of your life. Think about this very carefully, okay? Because over a 20-year retirement, that's an additional $150,000. And so your strategy should be to plan to live on your 401k and IRA savings to bridge that gap between retirement and age 70. All right, you guys, so there you have it. Now, starting at 50 does not have to be a death sentence. Trust me, you have time. I believe in you. It just means that you have to be more aggressive, you got to be more strategic, and you have to be more intentional than somebody that's 25. You can definitely build a nice nest egg to last you through your retirement years. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please share this video with a friend that needs to hear it, and I will see you guys in the next one. If you are still here at this point in the video, you are my people, and I want you to drop the number 50 and a money bag emoji down in that comment section. I will see you guys in the next one. Again, I'm Rashida, and I'm out.